right, pre-show shenanigans. Opening day yesterday. We're recording this a little bit early, but
Yeah, I'm
opening day.
sorry. We don't like vacation, but I am
Yeah, blame
taking
Everett,
a
guys. Blame
vacation.
Everett.
You can blame me this time.
Yeah. This time it's on Everett.
When
We're
Aaron Rodgers is
anti-vacation.
actually traded this time, it is my fault.
Yeah, well, you could say Aaron Rodgers is taking a vacation right now to a degree.
Yeah, you could say that.
I mean, to a degree. So, I mean, and we're anti-Aaron Rodgers on this podcast.
So that means we are. Oh no, that means we're still anti-vacation. Shit.
No, we are anti-vacation because he's
Fuck.
going on vacations. So we
Don't
are
worry,
anti.
I'll still be doing work while I'm on this vacation though. The podcast never rests.
It's not really a vacation. It's more of just like
No.
a change of scenery.
Scenery. It's a work trip. You know,
Yeah.
it's a work trip.
Yeah.
It's a business trip.
But there's no other way to say opening day yesterday. I did something a little, I would say, out of the ordinary for opening day. I said, screw it. Let's order pizza for opening day. I feel like most people, if you're thinking of opening day or just baseball foods, you're probably thinking of like a hot dog. But I was like, you know what? Let's go pizza for opening day. And after one bite of the Domino's pizza, which is very close by to my apartment at USC, oh my God, did I regret that decision so much after one bite. Everett, my entire roof of the mouth essentially was the equivalent of Darth Vader on Mustafar after his duel with Obi-Wan. The top of my mouth was burning, on fire. Like literally, I would actually compare it to like a zombie from The Walking Dead or like one of those infected people from The Last of Us. I don't watch either of those shows.
I don't watch either of them either, so that was pointless.
I am going to come out and say this. This is just fact. This isn't up for debate. There is a 98% chance that you burn the top of your mouth when you eat Domino's pizza. There have been multiple scientific studies backing this up. Statista has posted things about this. Wall Street Journal has posted things about this. Many very, very credible sources. And I just want to come out and say it's a shame on you, Domino's, because I think
at least it means it's fresh.
It is, yes.
Yeah,
but I'm going to actually blame all of this on the absurd standard that Domino's set years ago that you will get your pizza in 30 minutes or less. That is an unreasonable ask. Would you agree with me on that? Maybe living in LA might skew our opinion a little bit. I think we add a little more time for deliveries being in LA. However, if I ever get a pizza in 30 minutes, I'm like, damn, man, you sure quick. This is cooked? Like, I'm like, damn, man, that got here fast, and it was a minute drive. Holy shit. But yeah, Domino's pizza, your pizza is way too hot. I sincerely think you guys should have like a dedicated, some type of air conditioning fan system unit at the very end.
Now they have cars that have built-in like toasters that keep the pizza warm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So now it's like they're making sure that it's hot, that it's going to burn your lip.
Yeah, which is, I mean, guys, come on now.
So here's
burning your mouth. It's too much.
Here's a question for you though. Here's a question for you. Would you rather burn the roof of your mouth with Domino's pizza or step on Legos?
Okay.
That is the great debate.
Solid debate. Okay, let's start off with this. If you burn your mouth with pizza, that burn, I mean, I'm still dealing with it right now. So that is more of a long-term injury. Okay. That for a podcaster like me, I'm kind of playing at 80% right now with a burnt roof of my mouth.
When it comes he was questionable today. He was questionable on the injury report.
100%. You can go ask Podcast Woj, who leaks all of the podcasting injury reports.
That is just our unnamed intern, but yes.
I happen to be on that report, but
yeah, he was on that report.
When it comes to stepping on Legos, it's an instant pain. It's an immediate pain, way worse of an immediate pain than burning the roof of your mouth. To be completely honest, after I burn the roof of my mouth, you bet your ass I still continue eating the pizza. But Legos, in terms of a long-term injury, not quite the same. However, the short-term injury of stepping on, let's say let's say like 8 Legos, okay? And I'm talking at least 3 of them are like the rectangular brick ones that
let's
are
also say
okay?
they're not all like straight. Like some of them are pointed like sideways. You're getting the corners. You're getting those corners.
Okay. All right. Even better for my point. But that sharp pain from the Lego, stepping on a Lego, is way worse than the enduring pain that you have to suffer through from the roof or from the burn of the roof of your mouth. So I'm gonna go with Legos. Domino's Pizza, though, I mean, this is one of the most inconvenient things I've ever had to deal with on a weekend, to say the least. It's a Friday right now when we're recording this, and the roof of my mouth is burnt, Everett. How can I even live this weekend?
You're right. I don't know, dude. It's going to be questionable.
I literally can't. There's nothing I can do. I have to chalk up the whole weekend up. But you know what? Really good timing, because by the time the roof of my mouth heals, Everett will be back from his vacation. That
I will be back. And you know what? I'm taking this vacation because I've been hard at work getting possibly our biggest guest ever.
Taping ankles. Okay.
Don't say who it is. Don't say who it is.
I'm not.
We can.
Yeah. I didn't say anything.
But I'm just saying.
A little bit of a teaser. There's a very special guest that we may or may not have been specifically gassing up and talking about how he may or may not turn your franchise around.
Well, may or may not be the best choice of your career, of your life.
But to add to the suspense, may or may not be. You guys will have to find out.
You don't know. It could be somebody else. You don't know.
But that being said, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a very special episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today it is episode 105, and the Yukon Huskies are national champions. Let's go, Everett. Come on, Yukon. What a performance from Sonogo last night, dropping 34 points in the national championship game. Everett.
I can't believe FAU made it that close, though. Like, it was a 1-point game.
FAU, their matchup with San Diego State, absurd. What a finish. We obviously have to talk about that first, but Yukon Huskies national champions, Dan Hurley getting it done. What a win for the Huskies. So
hold on. My God, what a game for Miami in the national championship. I can't believe it was that close for them to win.
My God, Isaiah Wong absolutely lit it up. Okay, now let's take it back to the offseason a little bit. Drama. Isaiah Wong demanding that he gets more NIL money in order to stay on the team, or else he was threatening a transfer portal exit. He gets that NIL bag. He takes the Hurricanes to their not only first Final Four, but first national championship in basketball. One of the greatest stories we can ever think of. Coach Larinaga goated what he did at George Mason and now at Miami. These are things that we will remember for the rest of time. So congratulations, Miami Hurricanes.
All right. FAU, I cannot believe the 9 seed won.
I don't even know what the hell's going on.
I don't even know. I'm actually lost.
FAU? For FAU, I'm not sure.
I am very scared because they are joining the AAC next year. We're gonna have to play them, and I thought Tulane might have had a chance for basketball next year. I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm a little scared now.
I did not know that. One thing about FAU that was just remarkable that I really remembered is that their head coach, he accepted the FAU offer before checking out their facilities in person. He accepted it over the phone, and immediately after taking that job, he then saw the FAU facilities and he wanted to instantly resign from FAU, back out of it. He didn't know what he was signing himself up for. And now they win the national championship, Everett.
The first 9 seed to ever win. I think that's the highest seed to ever win the national championship.
I think at least in recent memory, the last time I can remember high seeds, UConn won it as 7 seeds. I know UConn, they took on 8 seed Kentucky 1 year in the national championship. It's rare to see.
And all I just want to say though is this just caps off an incredibly mad March Madness. What else is a better way to end it than with the 9 seed winning the Natty?
A 9 seed win. San Diego State.
Kawhi Leonard's University. Kevin O'Connell's alma mater. There's nobody else.
Kawhi Leonard might have cracked a smile last night for the first time in his life when San Diego State won. It was at San Diego State, Everett.
I mean, our unnamed intern was with him, so we do have proof that it did crack a smile. Yes.
True. But Everett, I'm not sure if you remember this entirely, but Kawhi Leonard, when he won the national championship with the Raptors, one of his quotes that became very famous, very well known around the basketball community was "Board man gets paid." Do you know who told Kawhi Leonard "Board man gets paid"?
Our unnamed intern.
Sure, but it was his San Diego State coach. It was his college coach who told him "Board man gets paid." And without his coach at San Diego State, Kawhi would have never been board man, and he would have never given us that great quote. Probably the most personality he's ever showed off in any type of interview.
But enough about Kawhi. Enough about Kawhi. San Diego State, massive props. Nobody thought that they would be able to be there, especially considering they looked like they were about to choke the game away in the Elite Eight. So
I mean, I thought there was a very solid chance they were losing to Charleston first round when I was looking at this 5-12 matchup. So
Aztecs coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. Also, the first 5 seed to ever win the national championship, Everett. Nuts.
No better team. No better team to do it. And you know what? Just a great way to cap off the end of March Madness. It's been a mad March Madness, and there's no better way to do it than with the 5 seed winning, almost arguably as good as FAU getting a chance to win at the 9 spot.
Yeah, going into this season, everybody was saying, I don't know, this year's up for grabs when it comes to March Madness. There's no real dominant team that we're looking at to just ascend and dominate college basketball. So, I mean, is it really that weird that this was the strangest March Madness ever? No, everyone was saying that from the get-go. So we are recording this quite early. It is Friday, March 31st. We have not recorded this before, not even the national championship game. We don't even know who won the Final Four to go into the national championship game. Guys, once again.
But we are just prophets. We are just prophets.
No, yeah, I mean, we did just predict
just prophets.
The
we
winner
predict the winner. Yeah, we got it.
That I might want to include all 4 of those.
You include all of them. Yeah, yeah. But, just include all of them.
Yeah. No, that'd be good. But,
like I said, we know what we're talking about. We are the best and Waterboy Analytics. It is Waterboy Analytics. That's how we get all of this correct. And obviously, you just saw we know exactly what we're talking about with the winner of March Madness this year. Like, I mean, it's incredible.
I'm also going to give a slight shout out to us for just coming up with that on the fly. That was not set up. I was just going to start off with the UConn Huskies are national champions. And I kind of wanted Everett to be like, guys, that's on me. I shouldn't go on vacation, but Everett, I'm going to give you the props.
Yeah.
Here. That was very fucking good. That was good podcasting right there. But Everett,
give myself a pat on the shoulder.
Not only is the Final Four this weekend, Everett, but also Wrestlemania is this weekend, Everett. I'm not sure if you know this, but WrestleMania is now a 2-day event. Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
said,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Days.
I'm not vibing with that. I'm not vibing with that. I'm not vibing with it.
You haven't been keeping up with WWE?
No. I know Cody Rhodes is apparently in the big match this year,
But after the Super Bowl, I announced that I will begin deeply following the WWE. I announced that I think I found my NFL college football offseason thing to watch instead of the NBA. I still don't watch that shit. But I hate to admit, I have not been following the WWE as closely as I promised.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't blame you.
I've watched 20 minutes of one of the WWE events since the Elimination Chamber. However, Everett, I will guarantee that at minimum, I will tune in to the main event. The second night of WrestleMania between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. I just want to say, this is scripted. Wrestling's all scripted, but Cody Rhodes winning that shit. If Vince doesn't put Cody Rhodes on top, I don't know what he's doing. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but enough of that shit. Okay.
Thank you.
MLB opening day.
No, there's something bigger than MLB opening day.
What could possibly be bigger than a fan getting arrested for proposing at a stadium, Everett?
No, that was big, and we'll get to that. It just so happens to be the same team, the same stadium. You were joking the other week about Tulane's official sponsor being Prime. The official sponsor of Dodgers baseball is Prime.
Wait, Tulane's official sponsor is Prime?
No, it's Powerade. but you were joking that you were jokingly saying, "What if it was Prime?"
Yeah.
And guess what?
Don't tell me it's Prime.
The official sponsor of Dodgers baseball is now Prime Energy.
Yeah, that was a very. I mean, to be completely honest, I think it's just like nuts that like a Logan Paul energy drink, now the official beverage of UFC and now the Dodgers. Like what?
So does this mean that they're going to be selling it in the stadiums now because they can't sell like Gatorade and stuff, I guess, because it's like,
I don't think they're allowed to sell Gatorade or Powerade.
I don't think so.
Are only allowed to sell Prime.
Which, by the way, is interesting because Gatorade or not Powerade owns like Coca-Cola. Like that's all the same company. Coca-Cola owns them. So
now I like where you're taking this. Now the soda game gets involved into this. Now we might go say that one more time. Coca-Cola has Powerade. So
Coca-Cola owns Powerade.
You might be going from your Coke, Sprite. Give me some more. I don't drink that much soda. Give me more Coke.
I don't drink soda. Fanta.
Fuck it.
Fanta. Mountain Dew.
Coke. Zero Coke. Coke Cherry. Coke Lime.
No, Dr. Pepper is not one.
No, I think Dr. Pepper's like
it's its own thing.
Yeah,
it's its own thing.
Exactly. But you guys might be going from that to Pepsi now that this change has happened. Now Powerade or Coca-Cola might be backing out of Dodger Stadium, and now to because Prime's the partner. Now you got to drink Pepsi. And I'm not a big soda guy. I would assume
I don't drink soda.
Like Coke than Pepsi. I don't know, but
you got a nice little thing on your lip right there.
Yeah, no, blame it on the burnt
lip,
burnt roof, and the one single herpes. Blame it on that.
You can't make me laugh too hard. I am sick right now. For everybody who is listening or watching this, so I have a moderate popcorn lung thanks to my illness, and if I start to laugh, I will end up having like basically my lung collapse. It's great.
Okay, so you shouldn't have told me that. Now that's the only thing I'm going to try to do for the rest of the episode. But okay, Everett. I think we should start off with the
with the proposal where the dude got hit by basically JJ Watt.
We can start off with that. Most important news of the game: on-field proposal interrupted by Dodger security guards. I also found out with some deep insight and analysis, Twitter, that the guy was arrested and banned from Dodger Stadium for 1 year.
Wow.
Now, Everett, I just want to start off saying this. I guess the security has to set a standard or like a precedent of not running.
Yeah, it's the first game of the year. It's the first guy. Yeah,
you can't let him off the hook. However, Everett, the Brian Urlacher spear was a little unnecessary.
Cam Chancellor did not have to come out of retirement just for that hit. That did not need to happen.
It was a little extra. Now, I get it. You want to set the example. Do not run on the field. I get that. But I couldn't help but think, Everett, what if an 11-year-old kid ran on the field and all the security guard just speared the shit out of him like it was literally like it was Luke Kuechly or Brian Urlacher over the middle. That's the only thing I could have thought of.
Jadeveon Clowney in the backfield, South Carolina.
Yeah, against Michigan when he forced that fumble after an awful spot, claiming that Michigan got the first down there. But with all that being said, though, Everett, I do think to a degree, if you are one of those security guards, you're kind of foaming at the mouth, waiting for your moment to just it out of someone.
Yeah.
Like from the security guard perspective, I understand. Like that's your dream to tackle.
They're all retired like high school linebackers or they played a couple of years in college, something like that. They've been waiting for this moment since their last game. Like they've been envisioning it. They've literally been picturing it in their mind how they're going to lay out whoever runs on the field. And then this guy just gives them literally a ball on a tee. He's sitting on one knee. He can't go anywhere. It's just a free target to hit. So I get from that perspective, like, yes, I'm going to light this guy up if he runs on the field. So I get that. But Everett, we do have to mention that
the girl said yes. So
she did say yes.
Congratulations.
I hope the ring was not lost when he got hit by.
He held on to it after film review. He held on to it. Maintained possession to the ground. Okay. First down.
It was.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
He secured the catch. Both feet in bounds. So shout out to that fan. Shout out to him.
That should not have been banned for a full year. I think that's bogus, but banned
for a year. I mean, come on, that
Dodgers low key. That's on the Dodgers because I guarantee you, he probably contacted them asking if he could propose.
He 100% asked him, like, could you guys put him up on the big screen jumbotron?
And they're like, no.
There's like a 20% chance if you go to a Dodger game that someone will be proposing on the big screen,
or they'll be getting in a fight. It's one or the other.
Well, that's actually a 95% chance. That happens every game. There are fights every game.
Which, by the way, I guarantee you, when we go to our game this year,
we avoided a fight last time with that Giants fan. I probably shouldn't have shit talked him so hard for a 2-game sweep. It was a mini series. It wasn't really a sweep, but I had to shit.
Our unnamed intern was really going into him, though. We had to hold him back.
Yeah, him. And then also our fourth friend, Stuart Little, he was just so scared. He was so afraid that we were like potentially about to get in a fight. I was so scared for Stuart, but Dodger Stadium, the Shenanigans are back at it again. Whatever. A little bit about the game now. Big time performance from William Dill Smith and James Outman on opening day. Everett,
I told you.
I'm so happy I'm wrong. I'm so happy I'm wrong on James Outman, Everett. But I want to say this and tell me what you think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I should keep saying that other teams and their scouts are going to figure out Outman to reverse jinx him so they don't figure him out. So
because the moment you start supporting him, he's going to start going poorly.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been supporting him since day one, so I think it's fine. For me.
You're okay.
I'm the advocate. I'm the advocate on this podcast.
If you ever flip on him, oh shit! Now things might hit the fan.
So let me ask you: Is James Outman going to be a great player in the MLB? Is he going to be the next outfielder for the Dodgers?
So this is something I was saying about. So, obviously James Outman is Cody Bellinger's replacement in center. Cody Bellinger went to the Chicago Cubs. Everett, and do you know how much money Cody Bellinger cost the Chicago Cubs?
Don't remember.
$21.5 million. James Outman, Everett, do you know what his contract is for this season?
Probably about $500K.
A bit more, $700,000. We're not that cheap. But Everett, we now have a center fielder who can hit the ball. And $21 million.
The question I asked you wasn't for you to support him. I needed you to take your negative stance on him again because you're currently supporting him. We need to back that up. We need to back that up.
He's gonna get figured out. He might have a good weekend. But remember, guys, we're playing the Diamondbacks. Like, how hard is it? I mean, I hit a home run off the Diamondbacks. Like, how hard is it? But they're probably gonna figure him out. I hope that they don't figure him out until June. I want at least 2 months out of him. Then we can send him back down. We'll have CT3 come back in center. He'll post up his 240 batting average and 140 strikeouts. He'll do fraud alert. Chris Taylor didn't make the starting lineup too, so I guess it kind of adds up.
Dude, it's weird how often that actually happens with the sirens.
I do literally say though, Everett, I'm very negative on James Outman. He has a phenomenal opening day appearance and performance, but I've been really, really high on Max Muncy, despite how awful he was last year, even going into the season. And Everett,
I don't like Max Muncy.
Max Muncy found a way to do something even worse than the golden sombrero, Everett. He had the platinum sombrero, 5 ABs, 5 strikeouts, Everett. I think there's only like 190 players in MLB history that have ever struck out.
So I didn't get to watch the game last night. I didn't get to watch it. Was he DHing?
No, he was not. JD was. I think he was playing third.
Oh, that's right, because JT's gone.
And a warrior, by the way. Took a pitch off the face that don't phase him.
Yeah, he's back.
Still in the lineup.
Back and rolling. But Dodgers outlook on the year looking good. Got to keep it up. It's the Diamondbacks, but traditionally speaking, the Dodgers have, at least as off of last year when they played the Rockies, they don't start off super hot. So we'll see. Dustin May's on the mound tonight, but we'll find out. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, some interesting stuff last night. Julio started off a bit shaky, but settled in nicely, went 6 innings. I was really happy to see that. But back to the offense. The one thing I really want to see this year, I want to see more scoring throughout the game in multiple innings rather than just banking in on 1 or 2 big innings. I don't know what it is, but I feel like last year there were a number of games, so many times where we can take like a 2-0, 3-0, maybe even a 4-0 lead by the 3rd inning, and then the offense just turns the switch off. Okay, game's done. We don't need to hit. There's no sense of urgency anymore. So
my goal is to have our starting lineup, the top of the lineup, those first 3. Freddie Freeman, Mookie, and I guess Will Smith's going to be our 3 this year, right?
He's the best hitter as of day 1.
So I want to see them actually be able to get hits early on in the game, especially especially in the playoffs. Like, that's important because our bats went ice cold. Mookie was cold in the WBC too, but especially off of yesterday, I know Mookie and Freddie got a little bit warmer as the game went on, but we need to see those
bats were not inspiring though.
We got to get some hits. We got to get some hits early on. We're paying you massive amounts of money to be able to do these things.
Speaking about massive amounts of money, Everett, Dodgers are paying Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman more money than the entire Oakland A's team, including minor leaguers combined. So you guys cannot be striking out. First
it was like
of the season.
Billy Beane taught them nothing.
Oh, absolutely nothing. You'd think he'd do a little. I'm pretty sure Billy Beane's president or VP of the A's right now. I don't know. I guess he's more concerned about moving to Vegas right now.
Well, I think he just wants to get a market where he can make some money, get some money for the team.
I mean,
executive vice president right now of the Oakland Athletics. Nothing much that you can do, I guess.
We'll hit a nice little transition to our last little MLB topic here, but Everett. Angels Astros opening day was in Oakland, Everett. I'm not sure if you saw this picture.
Angels versus Astros was in Oakland?
Sorry.
Angels
A's in Oakland, Everett. Now, last year, obviously, the memes and the jokes were, oh my God, like good seats at Oakland is like $12, and there's nobody in your like your literal section at the stadium. But for Shohei Ohtani's opening day start in Oakland, that stadium looks so unbelievably dead. I literally think that my high school baseball stadium would have had more fans in attendance.
Tickets also probably like $5,
if even.
So, I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I know people are protesting, it's still like they don't want to go. They don't want to spend money for a team that obviously isn't going to get money to improve. Like, they just don't care.
Yeah.
But I would spend $5 to see possibly the best baseball player to ever 100%. Exist. So
this is the fun fact. Fun little Shohei Ohtani fact. Everett, once again, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, but the Angels, they're never gonna do Mike Trout and Shohei right. They're gonna do them dirty for the end of time. So Everett, Shohei Ohtani's outing was the 26th time since 1901, Everett, 120 years, 26th time that a pitcher had 10 plus strikeouts and no runs allowed on opening day, Everett. However, Everett, this was the first time where the starting pitcher who posted those stats, his team lost. First time in MLB history that an opening day starter puts up 10 plus strikeouts, no runs, and their team loses the game. So
I just, like, the coach, I obviously know that they don't have a supporting cast around them, but the coaching also has to be so bad for you to not be able to get in. Like, with Shohei batting and Mike Trout batting, it has to be bad.
Their GM has just made some of the worst moves of all time. Like, Anthony Rendon is getting paid so much money.
What also is sad is we're.
Click there. That's all right.
Well, you don't preface these things to me. Okay, go.
must be spur of the moment. But Anthony
Go ahead.
Rendon, speaking of Anthony Rendon, the only thing that he's done notable in the last 3 years since signing his contract is almost knocking out a dude cold last night at the game who called him a bitch. That's the only thing. That's the only time I've seen Anthony Rendon in the media in the past 3 years after he won his ring in Washington. So the Angels will never get it right. They've made some awful roster moves to support Ohtani and Trout.
Yeah, what I was going to say is it's going to be really sad when Ohtani leaves because I honestly want to see that team. I want to see Shohei and Mike Trout together because those are arguably the best players in baseball. And the fact that you have them on the same team, like, when was the last time that the two best players in baseball? I'm not saying
it literally might have been the Murderers Row Yankees team with like Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and shit.
Because like obviously, no, that literally might have been it. And like obviously, like I'm not gonna count Alex Rodriguez and the captain, Derek Jeter, the captain. So I'm not gonna count them because Derek Jeter was obviously great, but Alex Rodriguez on the Yankees was not the second best player in baseball. So
Where are you saying Jeter was the best player in baseball?
I'm saying he could have been like top 2. He could have been 2, depending on.
I wasn't even thinking about that. More so like ask my boy Luca about the Yankees. Oh my god.
I know he hates
playoffs. Oh my god. Literally,
I know.
They won the ring that year, but every other series, A-Rod was.
Look, I wasn't that big in
bets in the playoffs right now.
I wasn't that big of a baseball fan when they were on the Yankees. So my knowledge does not extend that far.
Shame.
But
you're the NFL expert. It's okay. You get
it. But to have the consensus best two players on the same team and not even be able to make the playoffs, like.
Actually, not even like really.
That might be. So hold on. To have the two best players in baseball be in the same team and not even make the playoffs might be the biggest fumble in the entirety of sports history across every continent, every culture, every single team in the world. That might be the biggest fumble of all time.
Thank you, Everett. I'm gonna love clip. Thank you. That just made my day. I think when we're really looking at this, let's take 3 steps back. Let's go outwards a little bit. And we'll just look at the landscape of the MLB right now. The Dodgers, Braves, Yankees, Phillies, you could say to a degree right now, Mets, all these teams have constructed just insane top to bottom rosters with pitching and batting included.
And their farm systems are good too.
For most of those teams, I think the Mets might have emptied the whole tank to get their guys. But yes,
possible.
It's just the Angels. What the hell, man? Like, I mean, honestly, the fact it's a miracle they even convinced Mike Trout to stay in the first place. Like that, I need a 30 for 30 on those negotiations where it's like, yeah, Mike, you get 10% equity in all merchandise sold by anything in the city. Like, I need to know what it is because that.
I'm not gonna lie. If the Angels decided to make Mike Trout the GM, just let him have full control of the roster. Let a player have full control of the roster.
Yeah, not even player manager. He's the GM. I love that even more.
Let a player have the full control of the roster for the first time ever. He would do a better job constructing the team than they're doing right now.
Okay, I could run with that take as well. It's just what the Angels are doing right now. They'll never do them right. Thank God Ohtani's up for free agency.
I am sad because I genuinely wanted to see Mike Trout and Shohei do something together.
This is something I'd say. I feel like from my perspective, just as a younger sports fan, like when it comes to like the LeBron MJ debate, like I want LeBron to be the GOAT because I grew up watching him. That's who was playing when I was watching basketball. Like similarly, I want Shohei Ohtani or Mike Trout to go lead a career that makes them the greatest athlete in their sport. Literally, complete selfish reason, just so I can say that was the guy when I was growing up watching. And
also, I just want to say the fact that Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout are the consensus 2 best players in baseball right now, when not even having made the playoffs in like the last 5 years, really shows you how fucking talented they are.
That and also
how much they
actually the sport of baseball is.
That too. Yeah, that too. Okay.
Think we got our MLB fix in though. I think that's enough seam head talk.
I just want to. This is not baseball related. I'm going back to NCAA basketball just real quick, unrelated to obviously our miracle pick of the actual winner of the tournament. I think you saw this. This came out a couple days ago. Providence's new head coach. Okay, yeah, obviously old. Yeah, Kim English. New Providence head coach. Providence head coach. Kim English. So their guard, Jaden Pierre, enter the transfer portal. Okay. Which is expected when you have turnover in the coaching office. Okay. Kim English, the new head coach, challenged Jaden Pierre to a one-on-one game of basketball to get him out of the transfer portal. And I have to personally say, I think that this should be a
televised
mandatory. Event. This needs to be a mandatory thing for any player who's entering the portal if the coach wants to keep him. Any player that's entering the portal has to win a one-on-one game versus their head coach to be able to go in the portal.
Game to 21. Okay, just half court, no full court. Keep it simple, but you got to beat him 21.
You have to beat him 21, and you have to beat your head coach. This is not Game of Thrones. You can't have somebody play for you. Okay, nobody's fighting for you. It's you versus your head coach.
Fight for yourself.
Yeah.
As a man who's only gotten 2 episodes into season 2 of Game of Thrones, there were enough fighting in season 1 and in House of Dragon for me to understand that.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I think this needs to be a mandatory thing for all.
I love this.
Players entering the transfer portal. You have to beat your coach. This includes football, by the way. You get to pick your roster. Okay. It's like a draft.
Oh, okay. Now, the basketball I was having fun with, I'm even way more interested in a potential football. Okay, Everett, let's dive into this. Okay?
Let's dive into this.
I think when Ewers hit the transfer portal for Ohio State,
they could let him go. So here's the thing: he could
recruit.
So this is
guys that
this is what happens. This is what happens.
Go get a defense too?
No. This is what happens. This is what happens. Okay. If you want him to just leave, if you don't care, you'll just let him go. You don't need to challenge him. But let's say the coach wants you to stay.
Yes.
Coach challenges you to a one-on-one. Okay. Or 5-on-5, whatever. Right. The coach is a captain.
It's more
coach is a captain. You're a captain.
Okay. Do a little draft.
Do a little draft. Coach gets first pick. Coach gets first pick.
Of course.
We're going 5-on-5. Backyard rules. 5 seconds to blitz. 2-hand touch.
Oh, now we're up. Wait, 5-on-5 football?
5-on-5 football.
Oh, I think
backyard rules.
I think they should throw the pads on.
You can't. If you have a 75-year-old coach, you can't be doing that to coach.
Well, I'm not saying the coach is playing in this game. I'm saying the coach.
No, coach is playing in this game. Coach has. That's why he gets first pick.
Now we're really playing along here. But imagine if the transfer portal was a thing when Urban Meyer was a coach, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm playing quarterback, boys. Let's fucking go." Braxton, I get you. Michael Thomas, I get you. Bosa, you're my that'd be the funniest shit of all time.
But it's no defense. Like you just pick the players. Everybody plays offensive ways. You play both ways.
Oh, so this
two
is
ways.
Real.
This is real backyard football.
Old school.
Backyard football.
Okay. I see exactly the scenario you're laying out here.
Yeah.
Now, okay. I'm pretty interested in this. I think if there's one thing I've learned about, especially after watching the Chargers last year when we called up some practice squad guys, when there's a weak link on the field, you can expose that. So I'd give the advantage to the player transferring out. However, though, the coach, because he's the coach, he could probably manipulate this draft where he gets the first 5 picks. He gets all the best players, there are some extra things involved, based on conference. There are different rules for this draft. Like in the Big Ten, they'll probably keep it down, split in the middle. In the SEC though, the coach gets the first 6 picks and then you get to pick who you want to be on your team. So there's a lot of intricacies. Fraud alert. Fraud alert.
Or you can even do it this way. Fraud alert. Yeah. Or you can even do it this way. You let the player, whatever team they're transferring to, they get to have their pick of that team. Okay. Then the coach gets to pick the best players from his team, and you go against each other.
That
and
makes
if your player transferring loses, if the player transferring out loses, they're coming back.
Yeah.
They're coming back.
Now, obviously, this is a made up scenario, but like, imagine if this were a thing, and then the losing transfer player, or the transfer player loses, has to come back. Now, there's obviously going to be relationship problems between the coach and player. The player wanted to leave. The coach said, "No, I'm not letting you. I want to keep you." But maybe also to a degree, maybe the player's like a little more honored because the coach was willing to do so much to keep
you get like one. You get like one challenge a year. Like, I'm picking you. We're picking you. We're challenging your transfer.
Okay. So
you have like five. You have 5 players transferring out. You're just picking one.
Now, I think that adds some more strategy to this.
What if just in general? What if just in general? What if screw the 5-on-5 1-on-1? What if in general, just for the transfer portal to make it more fair, in general, you get to object or you get to challenge one player transferring out of your program. You can negotiate or something, and rework it so they have to stay on the program, or you challenge it, review something, and it's like almost like a bidding, like NIL bidding war or something. I don't know.
I was going to take it one step further. We can go even more big corp, big name schools on the side of the schools, and make it so that if you try to transfer and you lose your 7-on-7 game, now you're forced to spend a 5th year at that program and you lose your scholarship. I think we should protect the NCAA and the schools.
I don't know about that.
I'm obviously kidding. I do think though the NCAA would probably throw in some rule like that. Just
but low key though, challenging a player's transfer. I obviously know that the team still talk to players when they're trying to transfer out because they're trying to keep them, right. But actively getting to challenge a player's transfer and require them to basically have 2-way negotiations with you and the other team that they want to go to, so you can arrange some way of keeping them.
Yeah,
that might be interesting. NCAA. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are already in a period of free agency when it comes to college football, and when it comes to guys with still another year or two of eligibility left. It is just free agency at this point. Like the rules are you can't contact a kid unless they're in the portal. That's all bullshit. Okay, like they don't give a shit.
No, they contacted players all year.
You literally, it could be November. It might be week 9. You're preparing. Let's say you're Tulane. You're preparing for Houston, and you get a call just from the SEC. Like, yo,
well, I'm just gonna say this. I'm not gonna.
I was just an example. I'm not. No, but
I am just gonna say this. I'm not gonna say the player's name, but I will say that I actively know a player this year whose team, like, there were teams that were tampering with him as early as October. Tampering with him, talking to him, trying to get him to transfer out at the end of the season and join their programs.
Okay, now real quick, Everett, I'm obviously against that, but I want to shout out the team and their scouts for after just 4 games of. But when that happened, like when this person was contacted, I want to shout out that coaching staff. Like, obviously they're shitheads for doing this, but the fact that they knew right away this guy's him. Slight shout out to that team's scouting staff. Slight shout out. Okay. I'm against it, but props. Give credit where credit's due.
Their starting quarterback might rhyme with Schmartman this year or next year. So that's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. It was Chad Bailey. Okay. While we're on the topic of NIL recruiting, Everett, I have a college football update. Not quite an Ohio State of the Union, more of like a general recruiting update, but Ohio State last weekend, I'm talking the week of like March 24th, 23rd, that weekend, a while ago.
Yeah.
Big time recruiting weekend. Okay. And many Buckeye fans are aware that last year's big recruiting visit didn't quite go as well after Caleb Downs just was not coming to Ohio State, and Ty Lockwood flipping to Bama after our large recruiting session. But big time recruiting weekend, got a lot of guys to commit. Borderline 4-star, 6'7" twin offensive tackles from Ohio have committed to Ohio State. Everett, a 5-star edge, Dylan Stewart, has been crystal balled to Ohio State on 3, and This is expected because it's a wide receiver, but 5-star receiver Mylan Graham from Indiana has been crystal ball to Ohio State. All great stuff. However, Everett, shit hit the fan this morning on this dark March 31st day. 5-star quarterback Jaden Davis from North Carolina has committed to Michigan. I have been trying to stay positive, and I am very negative about Ohio State, but this is bad.
You're just negative in general, so let's clarify that.
This is DEFCON 5. This is bad. It's now creeping into recruiting. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on in these recruiting meetings, but God,
it's Cardale.
Damn it,
It's Cardale.
Harbaugh can now negative recruit Ohio State, saying, well, we beat them for the past 2 seasons, so which school is better? God damn it. Now they have that over us. I don't know what to do, especially at the quarterback position for the class 2024. There is a period when Ohio State had the number 1 player in the class 2024, 5-star quarterback Dylan Raiola, but I have no idea where the hell he's going now. He was going to take an official visit to Nebraska, where his father played and where his uncle coaches, and he just canceled that official visit. I don't know where the hell this dude's going. In my opinion, I think he's clout chasing. He took that Ohio State offer to boost his social media status. I get it. I don't blame the kid for that. Ohio State will boost your social media, but as of now, I don't know who the hell Ohio State's getting at quarterback for the class of 2024. I don't even know who's available. There also aren't as many top end 5-star quarterbacks in that class compared to some of the other classes in the past. So I am concerned about quarterback for Ohio State right now. Last thing, though, Everett, 5-star tight end Deuce Robinson from Arizona Pinnacle, where Dylan Raiola, the 5-star quarterback, has just transferred to. He has committed to USC, Everett. USC now has 2 5-star skill players in the current 2023 recruiting cycle and 3 5-stars total with their quarterback, Malachi Nelson. Everett. That means USC now has 2 more 5-star recruits than the entire conference they're about to join. Ohio State is the only Big Ten school with a 5-star recruit, and they only have one of them, Brandon Inniss. So I guess USC is really taking advantage of the lack of rules in place by the NCAA right now with the standing of NIL. So I'm going to shout out my Trojans. I go to USC. I wish that Ohio State would learn a thing or two from USC. I pray, though, that when USC joins the Big Ten, that they don't come under the same scrutiny.
I also just think that it's a bit different, though, when your school is in Los Angeles. That's a little bit more appealing than Ohio.
No, 100%, but it's the NIL money that I'm talking about here.
Which also exists in a lot more abundance for USC in Los Angeles.
I'm saying it could for Ohio State, and they're saying we don't.
It could, but Cardale is in charge of it. So
no, they're saying we're above that. We don't do that. But this is the whole thing. It's just like, I mean, shit. If I was the AD of a college football program,
you're trying to build up as much money you physically can.
Only $2 million for Marv? Hell yeah. Give him that instantly. I'm not even thinking twice about it.
You got to give him $2 million. Otherwise, you're going to have to worry about challenging his transfer if he's trying to get out.
Then we got to worry about a 7-on-7 game.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
Go to plant. So
I don't know if Ryan Day is going to be able to rep that too well, personally. So
yeah, that could be a little bit more interesting.
Jim Knowles might be struggling though. Jim Knowles might struggle a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Knowles, everyone can have their opinions. I don't think he's the most phenomenal recruiter anyway. So, yeah, I don't think it'd be him in that specific recruiting pitch to have a kid stay. I think that'd be delegated to a position coach, which is a little more entertaining.
Brian Hartline might be able to run it up, though. I'm not going to lie.
Brian Hartline might be able to actually run it up. Defensive recruiting at this point. I don't know. But yeah, that was the quick recruiting update. Things are really going off right now.
Let's take a turn to the NFL here. So there's a new segment we're going to be starting this episode, and I don't know what NFL stuff that you have going on you want to talk about before we get into that.
One major,
so let's do that.
Major point.
Let's do that.
So Everett, Jason Kelsey recently tweeted out asking Chiefsaholic to be a guest on their podcast. So I just like to take this time to formally ask Chiefsaholic to come onto the Waterboy pod, if you don't mind. To Chiefsaholic, if you're looking for a completely unbiased podcast that will not try to filter your answers in any way, we will not manipulate what you say, we will accurately depict every side of your story, please come on to the Waterboy podcast. We're here to support you, Chiefsaholic. You're the most entertaining man in football. And this is even coming from a Chargers fan. This is coming from a Chargers fan, like above all things else. So Chiefsaholic, please, if you want an outlet to accurately depict your story, DM us at Waterboy Pod. But that's all I have.
We also take emails.
Do you know what is it?
Waterboypod@gmail.com.
Yes. Great email. Love that.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Also, just interesting note. There's Good Morning Football. Doing the bang up job that they've been doing lately.
Schrags again, or are we going for Kyle?
Schrags doesn't work there anymore. I've been over this with you. He is no longer there. I told you this.
I will always associate Good Morning Football with Peter Schrager. So
trust me, Peter Schrager does not want to be associated with the program right now. It'll take me like a
month or two to really attack.
Kyle Brandt's still there though. Cool. So the new host, I guess, of the show, I don't know what her name is, was doing a segment on the Vikings, and they basically said that how do you expect to win when you do not change the quarterback position after every year, or at this point, like this, and I'm sitting here like, how do you expect to win when you don't make major changes to this team? And look, last year the Vikings had a new head coach and a new GM. Okay, they were building a team off of what scraps they had left with the cap space and the contracts that they had to deal with. Okay, we've already seen massive overhauls in the roster this offseason, which may or may not pan out well for the upcoming season. It may or may not end up with the Vikings drafting Caleb Williams next year. We'll see. Honestly, it's fine with me. I do not give a shit. I will sacrifice the season.
In order to get Caleb Williams next year, I don't think it's possible for the Vikings to statistically record-wise be that bad to earn the number one pick. Are you saying trade up to get that pick?
If that's what has to happen, but I will sacrifice a season. I will sacrifice it for the greater good.
I do think that's something I'm conflicted with. Long-term battles versus the short-term battles when it comes to being an NFL.
Sometimes you have to lose battles to win a war.
Quote that. I'm quoting that. That should be your new Twitter header.
That's a general thing.
I know it's the most commonly, but you just say that you said
it's the wide receiver. It's the wide receiver. Like you ever see the tweet where it's like, this is what quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, tight end. This is what they tweet out. It's like tight ends do some. Tight ends tweet something derpy.
Where Michael Scott quotes a tweet and includes who said it, and then they add
himself,
Michael Scott afterwards.
But look, the Vikings have overhauled it all. And even if you want to talk about Kirk Cousins, not changing the quarterback position, Kirk Cousins has actually brought stability to the Vikings quarterback room, and one that hasn't had it a lot. The Vikings.
Teddy brought stability, no?
For a year and a half. He also really.
We love Teddy.
It was Adrian Peterson's team. It was Adrian. I love Teddy. I love Teddy. I love Teddy Two Gloves. But it was Adrian Peterson's team. Teddy didn't really have to do that much. It was still a defense team. But Vikings quarterbacks really haven't had Brett Favre for a year or two, Dante Culpepper before he fell off a cliff. Randall Cunningham was good for a year or two. The Vikings have always
the Eagles, huh? Okay, nice.
The Vikings have really. Donovan McNabb was on the team, I think, for a little bit. Christian Ponder, yeah, I guess they made a playoffs the year after they got him.
Andy Reid sucks nuts. Deshaun Jackson, who the hell is that
guy? But these were all quarterbacks in the Vikings, by the way.
I'm just talking Eagles players. My bad.
But look, Kirk Cousins has been the first quarterback that's been able to actually bring a lot of stability for multiple years. So don't complain about that. He's done well. Okay, minus primetime games. But with that said, look, there's nothing to do some research. Do some research on the actual teams before you bring up points. I understand that it might look like
you go play a Thursday night football game. All right. And then you can talk shit.
I understand it might look like that, but realize the Vikings have actually made substantial changes or have tried to make as many changes as they possibly can. Obviously, Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer weren't really doing much at the end of their tenure, but the Vikings fired both of them specifically for that reason. And
How long
that
was
in
Zimmer
itself
there?
is
Like 8 years?
6 years, I think. He was there from 2014 to maybe it was 2013 to
21.
2021.
Yeah.
So
maybe a little too long there. That's up for
maybe. Him and Rick Spielman weren't really getting along too well. It's fine.
I think, let's start. I want to ask you this, Everett. What are you thinking? Just obviously we're very early, but Vikings record next year. What would be
so the over under
expectations? What are expectations?
The over under right now for the Vikings is set at 8.5 wins.
I'd say over.
I would hope that it's over, but I will say that if it's not going to be a competitive year,
I think you guys are getting double digits at minimum.
I think with Kevin O'Connell, the standard will be double. I think it's going to be a kind of a Mike Tomlin. You can even clip this. This is cold take exposed. Okay. Kevin O'Connell gives me very much Mike Tomlin vibes, where he's not going to ever present a season where he's not 500 or better.
Okay.
I think that's just going to be the way that it is with Kevin O'Connell here. But if you're not going to be able to make that push late, I think you have to contemplate what you want to do. Maybe you rest players for health. I'm never going to say to tank. I'm not one of those fans where it's like tank for this player.
I couldn't.
I'm going to support this team if they're dog shit or if they are the Super Bowl winners. I am here thick and thin. I'm never supporting them. I want to see them win. I want my team to win. If I were a Texans fan right now, I'd probably be a little bit pissed off we won that last game, but I'm still gonna be cheering you on because you won a fucking game. All right, I'm not gonna be pissed off because you fucking won a game. That's not how fans are. That's it. You're not a real fan, and that's the way you are.
Hey, I'm not trying to call out specific fan bases, but there was one person who Big Cat quite loud about how losing that last game and having the number 1 pick makes the Bears the second winner in the NFL. I mean, there's only 2 winners in the NFL. Who wins the Super Bowl and who has the first pick in the draft? No?
Oh yeah, those are two winners, but they're the winner of the losers, I guess.
No, I know. I was just saying,
anyways, I think the Vikings are going to be probably a 10-win team next year. I could see them going 9-8, but we'll see. It's ultimately how they perform in division. That's going to be the key to how this season goes.
I'm so fascinated to see how the Packers turn out for the next couple of
dog
seasons.
Shit.
Dog shit. For as long as I've been watching football and can remember, the Packers have always consistently been a top tier contender for the Super Bowl. Obviously, they never actually do that shit, but it's always been preseason discussions. I'm not sure if I'm ready to have them just become a bottom 5 team in the league, year in and year out after Aaron Rodgers.
They had a solid season, or they had a solid season or so where they were a bottom kind of 10 team, I think. And even last year, they were on track for that before Aaron Rodgers pulled out some dark witchcraft and carried the team to almost the playoffs. But anyways.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty good in December.
We'll see.
December and January, right?
Aaron Rodgers is good in December and January.
I thought it was LaFleur.
No.
I thought that was LaFleur's that he was undefeated, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
There's a reason why.
They're hashtag best friend goals, so there's nothing to be worried about.
Undefeated unless they play the 49ers. So anyways, new segment that we're starting now. A lot of people obviously been waiting for this. We had to get through all of our kind of draft rankings, position rankings, so you understand kind of where we stand. Because also when people are like, why are you picking this person? Why are you picking this person? I'm literally going to tag them into the next post or show them the previous post where I said this is where I think players are. So unless it's a D lineman, because I fucked that one up. Anyways, we're going to be doing the draft first round wish lists. This is the new start of it. Grant, how many are we going to be doing today? How many of these are we doing today?
Now, I don't want to put a specific number on your head. Let's go. Now the draft is in, correct me if I'm wrong, Everett, I think I have this correct, 27 days from Friday, March 31st.
So
27?
Yes, it starts at 26. It starts at 26th.
6. Oh, sorry. I thought it was the 27th. You're gonna have to give me 3 now. If it was 27th, I would have said only 2, but you're gonna have to give me 3 now. I'm sorry.
Well, that means this is going to be 3 clips. So are you prepared to make more than 3 clips next week?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. So the way we're going to be doing this is in order of teams drafting. So we're going to kind of just build on each other, starting with the first pick going to the 31st pick, because obviously the Dolphins don't have one this year. That's how we're going to be doing this. And we're just kind of building off of that. Otherwise, I'm going to start just saying random players that may or may not even make it that far or may drop even further. So
question, if you suggest a team to trade, will you then be replacing that with the new team to come in that pick? No? Okay.
No. I'm just going to say to trade. I'm not going to say with who, because I don't really know. So just saying. All right. Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers are really interesting because they are the first overall pick they traded up for here. Obviously, they're going to take a quarterback. If I'm the Panthers, I'm going to pick CJ Stroud with his first overall pick. I think that he's the best quarterback to just throw in right away and be able to start. But Anthony Richardson is really interesting here. If you're going to have a quarterback sit and wait, I think Anthony Richardson is a sneaky guy to see going on the first overall pick just by basic athleticism. Obviously, the Panthers are always been known for having athletic quarterbacks, obviously with Cam Newton. I think that I could see Anthony Richardson going number 1, but give me CJ Stroud for the Panthers at 1 pick.
If I can quickly comment on that before you get to the second pick, something that I think of when it comes to the Panthers situation, however, I'm not sure if you remember this, but they signed nice guy Andy Dalton at quarterback in the offseason pretty early on when free agency began. So do you think Andy Dalton is a capable quarterback to start ahead of AR-15, develop him and teach him? I mean, Andy, look what he did with Justin Fields. Justin Fields, best quarterback in the NFL after sitting under Andy Dalton. So do you think that Dalton can replicate this with AR-15?
I think Andy Dalton is one of those quarterbacks where it's the same thing where I was talking about Blaine Gabbert. Like I like having Blaine Gabbert a lot. That's who I was projecting.
Blaine.
That's who I was projecting going to a lot of these teams with younger players, or like Joe Flacco, because they've been in the league for so long.
I think
they can give Chase Daniels that same thing.
Like, dude, you don't need to play anymore. Like, you got so much.
I like that. I think that Andy Dalton is a great kind of mentor quarterback. I think that the reason they signed him is just for a rookie to be there, period.
And he's a nice guy.
But really nice guy. He's a nice guy. But I think especially with the lineup that they have, like Anthony Richardson is much better built to sit, and Andy Dalton could be that guy to be able to show him kind of the ropes a little bit. And having Adam Thielen and those kind of guys there too might be helpful.
Yeah, I just want to say from literal personal experience, after watching Malik Willis just get like thrusted into a game, and I watched that live. Oh my God, I would love to watch AR-15 just start week 1 next year. That'd be the most entertaining shit of all time. I actually think he'd put up Nathan Peterman numbers. Like, it'd be so funny to watch.
I think that there's a chance he goes number 1 because the Panthers do like him so much.
I do think so too.
I don't think that's the pick I would go with.
I'm not. That's why CJ Stroud at 1.
No, that's why I said I'm going with CJ Stroud. However, I would be curious about Anthony Richardson if you're going to let him sit and wait. But if you want a quarterback to start right now, draft CJ Stroud. That is your quarterback of the future. You can put him in. He's going to do well.
So this is something I'm kind of thinking about, and I'm also trying to convince the Panthers. Okay, we went over this. Ohio State quarterback going number 1 overall. Hell yeah, sign me up. But now I'm just purely thinking about CJ's career in the NFL. Panthers. If you do draft CJ this year, who is he throwing to? He's not even going to be in a position to succeed. And I would also assume that, let's say the Panthers take Stroud, probably not the starter week 1, but they'd want him to start. I don't know. 6 weeks into the season. Maybe
didn't DJ Shark sign with the Panthers?
Did he?
I think he did. I think him
I can
and Adam
work with
Thielen.
that. To be honest, I can work with that. I
think he signed with the Panthers.
Actually, I could work with that. Never mind.
Yeah.
Take CJ. I could work with that. Shark and Thielen.
Yeah, I can work
and
with
Miles
that.
Sanders, like he has a little receiving. Yeah.
Terrence Marshall's in there too.
I like that. I actually like that a lot.
It's possible. It's possible. Okay. Texans, 2 first-round picks here. I'm going to do both of them. So mark this down. This is pick 2 and pick 12. Okay. Going a little bit out of order here, but I have to do them both because it's the Texans. Unless we want to do pick 2 and then
I mean, to be honest, now I think you might be able to bring this up.
No, I kind of have to do it because when they're going to be like, what about pick 12? Okay.
Yes, but also it's like Miami's not getting one of these posts. You guys lost your first round pick because your owner who's a booster for.
But this also just speeds it up, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. Look, I said this before when we drafted for the Texans. I just had a little bit of a post where we did that specifically. Look at them. If I'm the Texans this year, I am not drafting a quarterback with the second pick. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but if I'm the Texans, I'm going to draft Will Anderson with the number 2 pick. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I think there's a lot of quarterbacks next year, and I don't think this team's going to be set up well enough in order to do well next. Scrap that.
In order to do well next year. Next point. All right, you got this shit.
If I'm the Texans, I'm drafting Will Anderson with the number 2 pick. I'm not going to draft a quarterback. I think that they're not going to be great this season, so they'll get a high pick next year. Also, you have a defensive head coach. Make sure that you're getting that edge rusher that he can build into the next perennial Micah Parsons, something like that, one of the next perennial edge rushers, all right? Then with the 12th pick, you could go wide receiver here. I could see JSN coming off the board, maybe Quentin Johnson. I don't like Quentin Johnson, but that could happen. However, I think that they're going to get Christian Gonzalez at 12. Shore up the secondary, get something like that. You know what? I'm changing my mind.
Do you think Christian Gonzalez
I'm changing my mind.
12?
I'm changing my mind.
That was my
You know what?
thought.
You know what? I'm changing my mind. You're going to draft
Keely Ringo.
No. So for pick 12, I think you go with a tackle. You're going to get Peter Skoronski at 12. Shore up the offensive line so that way when you get a new quarterback coming in next season, they're going to have pass protection. You don't have to worry about that.
And in next year's draft, you can go quarterback receiver and pair up some boys together. Also, remember, I'm pretty now. It's telling me right now that Laramie Tunsil is on the Texans, but I've heard a lot of rumors that he's about to.
He is on the Texans. He is on the Texans, but the other side of the line is ass.
I was hearing that they're trying to move off of Tunsil. Or was it that he just re-signed a massive contract? That might have been it.
He wants to be paid the most in the NFL.
Oh, never mind. He signed a fat 3 years.
They wanted to make him. They wanted to make him
No. 2 weeks ago, he got $75 million from the Houston Texans. So no, Laramie is their tackle, but I'm still with you. Let's go Skoronski at right. And you get your tackle duo. I'm still with this, Everett. You don't need to.
I think for the Houston Texans, you're going to go Will Anderson too. You're not drafting a quarterback. Not a lot of people are going to agree with that, but you're not going to draft a quarterback. You're going Will Anderson too.
I think
and tackle at 12. If Paris Johnson is there, you take him. Otherwise, you get Peter Skoronski. I think one of those two are going to be there.
I'm also like, I think when it comes to like Paris, I'm obviously very biased here. Like Paris was fucking phenomenal at Ohio State. I am just thinking though, like, I'm surprised how quickly the narrative shifted, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you are the NFL mock draft expert. But I feel like at first, when the initial mock drafts were coming out, Skoronski was going ahead of Paris. No?
They were. But I also personally like Paris Johnson more.
Though.
I like Paris Johnson more. I also just think generally what I saw when I was reading up on, a lot of people think Peter Skoronski is more of a guard build for the NFL rather than a tackle build. So,
you know?
I don't remember, but regardless of that, Peter Skoronski for the Texans need
6'4". Okay.
Yes. The Texans need a guard or a right tackle. Either of those positions, it doesn't matter because they need both of them. So I personally do not care because either way, it's fixing a need. But I think that you're going to draft Will Anderson at 2, shore up the offensive line at 12, get Peter Skoronski or Paris Johnson, whichever one is still available. Ideally, Paris Johnson Jr. I think you shore up that offensive line for the quarterback of the future next season, and you're rebuilding the defense with a defensive-minded head coach, one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL last season.
Yeah, I just want to say fun fact about Paris. He speaks Mandarin Chinese like
so do I. Yeah.
And Portuguese. So
I do not speak Portuguese.
Well, yeah, no, that was but Mandarin, yes. So
yeah. Fun fact about me: I speak Chinese. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for our water boy enthusiasts.
I mean, also slight fun fact: I'm half Chinese, and I don't know a damn word about it, but Everett does. So
yeah, I do. It's weird. It's a weird occasion whenever show up at your house.
Yeah, no, I mean, my grandparents didn't know English; they only spoke Mandarin.
Yeah. Okay. So the final one, Arizona Cardinals. All right. Arizona Cardinals are interesting because based off of everything else that's happened, they could go multiple different directions. I think the Arizona Cardinals here are going to shore up the secondary. Will Anderson's already off the board, so they're going to take Devon Witherspoon, unless I think there's also going to be a lot of people trying to trade up to get a quarterback in this position. You could trade down a couple spots, even trade down to 4 with the Colts and still get Devon Witherspoon. But I think regardless, you're taking Devon Witherspoon or Christian Gonzalez, regardless if you trade down. But trading down is an option.
I'm thinking more so that the trade down might make the most sense long term. What most sense when we're looking at long term.
I think that the trade partners here, there are going to be maybe
Jalen Carter pro day has really thrown this whole.
I think they're going to be also apparently Dan Campbell said he learned. Dan Campbell said he learned some stuff about Jalen Carter. I don't know what the information is, but it might even nerf his stock more. He might not go at 6.
What do you mean by learn some stuff? That's
I don't know. He was talking to people at Georgia apparently, but I think the teams that could trade with the Cardinals would be the Colts, the Raiders, and the Titans. I think those are the teams that could trade up to 3 to get a quarterback. Even the Bucks are at 19, and that's a huge drop. But I could see getting first round pick this year, first round pick next year. Maybe you get like Vita Vea or something like that, and they get a quarterback. They're gonna end up getting Bryce Young.
Also, like a weird trade that I'm not even sure if the Bucks would be proposing this trade to would want to take on, but I'm pretty sure I heard some stuff that Devin White wants out of Tampa. So maybe that's an asset that you can give up.
But I think the Cardinals need cornerbacks. They lost Byron Murphy. They're in a full rebuild. I know they're. Yeah, I did get him.
Yeah, you did.
I know their head coach is offensive minded.
Sean Murphy bunting, aren't you, you little dirty dog?
I know they have an offensive minded head coach. I know they want to build around Kyler, but defense wins championships, and I've learned that the hard way. And I think obviously,
their coach is also weird as shit. That was like the weirdest.
Yeah, the Cardinals need to have corners because right now they don't have any. That defense is absolutely abysmal, and without a secondary, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, that and like they just need like the Warzone developers to like really stop caring about the game. Like that's the best case scenario for Arizona.
But that's the first 3 technically and 12th pick, but we'll see how these do. If we need to adjust the way we go about these, we will. But for starters, that is how we're going. Picks 1, 2, 3, and 12. CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, Devon Witherspoon, Peter Skoronski.
Everett, I have some breaking news just to end off the podcast real quick. This goes back to the start of the podcast. So with Logan Paul and KSI, the ambassadors, whatever, Prime now being the official sports drink of the Dodgers, Everett, Logan Paul and KSI were booed by Dodger fans while throwing out the first pitch tonight.
Never gets old.
Yeah,
never gets old.
The boys in blue, they know what they want. Okay, like I want Randy Newman throwing the first pitch opening day. That's what it should be, guys.
Speaking about the Dodgers, we're gonna end the episode here. We've got a game to watch. We've got a team to cheer on, and I hope that we've got some players to watch hit balls at the start of this game. So
it's going to be great stuff. Mookie just grounded out, but the next time he's up, Everett, instead of a 3-pitch strikeout, it'll be a 5-pitch strikeout. Okay. We're going to make some progress. Okay. Some progress. That's all I ask for.
Yeah. With that, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can check us out on Spotify, TikTok, and on YouTube at Waterboy Pod. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe, favorite, download, share.
Download the pod, share the pod. If any of you pieces of shit even think about going on a plane and you're not playing the Water Boys, the fuck are you doing? So you guys know the drill. I don't need to say this anymore. We're the official podcast of Delta. So yeah, Everett.
Find our handles right here down below. We're on Twitter. Make sure to follow at Waterboy on Twitter. We said that before. And make sure to tune in next week for a very special episode, I think. So with that, Waterboy's out.
It's Tajay Spears.